Alrighty. One more minute, we'll get started. Again, I want to welcome everybody to the official VirgoDAO Investment Talk Show, episode 2. I'm extremely excited to be hosting this space. Like I said, I got a couple of lawn guys. Of course, they came at the perfect time, but they're going to be gone soon. And I won't be speaking as much. Thankfully, we'll have Abdul doing most of the talking, explaining to our community about his wonderful project, Zignaly. And looking forward to it, definitely. We have a lot of great questions lined up. And, as myself who trades TradFi and Web3, cryptos, I've been trading for a long time. This is a topic that's dear to me and very interesting to see. I've actually never used any this kind of profit sharing trading with AI, especially with them implementing the score system. So this is very interesting for me to learn about, and definitely am very thankful Abdul is here to speak to us. And I guess we'll get started now.
Thank you very much.
One moment.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for having me here today.
Yes, Abdul, we're very happy to have you. A lot of people have spoken very highly about your project. I've done some research myself. It's a wonderful project, and we all look forward to learning more about it. So, just to introduce our speaker, Abdul is the one of 3 co-founders of Zignaly. I guess your Web2 title would be CFO, but I've done a little digging. They call you the master of coins because I guess a lot of your tasks are related to the token itself. And but I know you have a strong Web2 and Web3 history, and you were actually an ex-banker, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And, the CFO was too boring. So, yeah, absolutely. So I have been doing more on the things on the token side. But another thing that they call CFO is Chief Food Officer. So, along the company, whenever we are meeting, I'm the one who decides for the food as well. So that's an additional role that I have. But yeah, from the background perspective, I'm an ex-banker. I have a finance and accounting degree, and I've done banking for a few years and then left it for crypto, basically. Been doing, started as investments and then eventually co-founded Zignaly with a couple of my other founders who are based out of Spain. I'm personally based out of Dubai, and it's been almost 6 years now. And then this Zignaly started as like a solving your own niche kind of a thing. We were just trying to automate the signals first, and then eventually over the years now we are proudly transformed into something which we truly call a trailblazer and state of the art from both from technology and product perspective with a great community.
Definitely. I mean, after doing some research, I see that there really isn't any competition with Zignaly, just because, standalone with the fees itself, you guys don't charge any extra fees. You guys really look out for the investor and for the user, which is refreshing to see. A couple of things about Zignaly I want to mention also, and I do want to mention I actually work at a bank full-time as a software engineer. So it's funny, we're both from
Nice.
banking. I'm a .NET developer at a bank. And so just to give a little feedback or a little bit of introduction to Zignaly, if you guys want to check out their website, I know there's 2 that I've seen is app.zignaly.com and also zigdao.com. You guys can check out. Remember, Zignaly is the product. ZigDAO is the protocol, just to make sure. And so, yes, I noticed that you guys are also #1 broker partner at Binance. Zignaly's been building for over 5 years. The entire bear market you guys been building nonstop, which is awesome to see. Also, I noticed Forbes recognizes Zignaly as the most powerful AI backed investment tool on the market. So that's a big deal. Forbes has recognized Zignaly. And Zignaly solves a huge problem. Most traders are investing anywhere between $800 or so. And so Zignaly really created a profit sharing a tool that they really focus on the investors, so that way they're not, the investor's not trading or spending a lot of their money on the fees. And just how you said, there's 3 other founders, 2 are in Spain, and you yourself are in Dubai.
Yeah, absolutely. So like one of the things you very interestingly mentioned is about the fees part. This is the decision we took back in 2019. When we at that point in time we were like a typical copy trading platform where you can connect the APIs and follow the traders. Even back then we understood that there are deficiencies in the normal copy trading system, just because the scaling problem that Now every single platform is facing, even the exchanges are facing, which is something that we have solved for. And when we started solving for it, the first thing that we wanted to solve for was this fees. Like on an average, most of the customers who, in density perspective, are coming from the markets which are, high on inflation rate, high in currency devaluation is a big problem. Inflation is very high, interest rates are very high. So their pocket sizes are not big. They start with $1,000 or $2,000 at max. If you start charging them $30 or $40 to use the service, and then you start making them pay $30 to $40 a month for the trader that they follow, then you are basically starting them with negative 6 to 8% on $1,000 investment. Think about 80% of the world. $1,000 is like a massive investment for them. So we wanted to make it fair for everyone, and we took this hard decision. Back then, there was a lot of question mark on our strategy, that what are you doing and how are you going to sustain as a business model. But I think we took this bitter pill at that point in time, and we made the platform free. We convinced the traders that you cannot charge them, and the only way we charge the customers or the investors is through the success fee. It was a difficult decision, and it took some time, but I think once it's done, and 3 years down the line, 4 years down the line, now we can see how impactful was it. Like, someone coming in can see, okay, I can start my investment journey even with $1. I don't have to pay any subscription fee, I don't have to pay any trader fee, unless I make profit, and then I get my net profit out, after deducting the success fee. So this itself looks like a small thing, but I think this actually reshaped the whole thing, and it actually reflects, it kind of reflects the mentality that we have is of a greater win-win situation for everyone. Of course, Zignaly aims to become a highly profitable product, and a Zigdao a highly profitable protocol. But it is only possible if people actually see the value, and this is the first step that we took towards that. It more of a pay as you earn kind of a model, instead of pay first, and then if you're lucky you make money.
Yeah, and that's so refreshing that you guys are looking out after the investors, the little guy in the market, and I think that's really going to pay off, huge in the long run, right? You guys are thinking long term here, and I think a lot of your competitors, which I really can't even call them competitors because they're charging so much for fees, you guys are set yourself apart from really everybody else that's creating something similar. And looking out after the investors as number one is really just, first of all, as somebody who's new, who's never really worked with Zignaly, it was an eye opener for me and made me, instantly. I mean, I signed up. I have an account now. I'm gonna, I saw you guys have to. You're able to send in some USDT. You're able to even purchase through the application, so that's very convenient. I wanted to ask, you've kind of given an introduction. Can you give us a little bit more detail, kind of your role at Zignaly, just to give a little bit more background on that, and then kind of like the role of the two other co-founders and how you guys work together?
Sure. Absolutely. So yeah, so I'll start from the other two, and then I'll come on my role. So Bart, who is the co-founder and the CEO, and he is a de facto CTO as well. So he's the tech guy, and he's the vision guy who defines the single direction, single goal for the organization. Has an oversight on, almost obviously as a CEO, on everything that happens in the organization, and predominantly he looks after the tech. Then we have David. He's also a co-founder, and he looks after marketing, and in some areas he look after business development as well. His core skill set is around creating user journeys, UI UX design. So mainly on the marketing and user journey side. I am basically obviously one of the co-founders and the chief token officer, a master of coin basically. And there's a reason behind it. Um, we launched as a project almost 6 years ago, but our token came 3 years ago. And since the day that we have rolled out coin, um, we have decided that you know anything and everything we do at the product level, the coin has to be at the heart of it, okay, and it has to drive utility in one way or the other. The reason is very simple, that in Web3, if you want to succeed, most of the projects, they have the native token, and it is one of the best tools of marketing. And then again, if you are able to provide either the great utility, or provide or can create demand generation plus a supply shock, then it will be great. So this is what I exactly work on. I look after finance for the company, fundraising, business development, handling the third-party contractors, for example, influencers, advertising agencies. I also, look after the active business development in terms of the partnerships and all the listings, liquidity provisions, treasury management that I also take care of.
Wow. So you definitely wear a lot of hats at the company, and I guess that's why they call you the
We are a
master of
small
the
team.
coins, huh? So that's
We
awesome.
are a small team, so everyone is doing a lot of
Yes,
stuff.
and
We are
speaking of
only like
team,
27 people.
you
Yeah.
guys have I saw, I think, am I wrong? Other employees as well, correct? A pretty, or is it just
Yeah.
what's the size, I guess, of the current team?
Yeah. So we are around 30 people, and it's 30 full-time employees, and it's a pretty robust global team. And we have always been a remote team even before COVID. So this was one of the interesting things that happened that when COVID happened, everyone was lost for a few months how to operate. For us, it was business as usual because we were always remote. So no two people working from the same space. Even some people live in the same city, but they work from their home or their workspace or wherever. So it's and we have very well diversified team in terms of technology, content creators, marketing, business development, finance, success trader team. So yeah, I mean it's a small team, but a very well knitted and a solid, powerful team.
No, I mean you say small, but in Web3, I mean that 30 people, that's a lot of people, and that's it's awesome that you guys have it from all over the world. It gives it a lot of different perspectives
Yeah,
on the product, and they
yeah,
might think of something that you have not thought of because you live on a different part of the world.
yeah,
So that's really good for
exactly.
the growth of Zignaly. I wanted
Absolutely.
to kind of go over some more about like the tokenomics, if you can go over, because obviously we can see it here, on different platforms. We have the market cap, the circulating supply, 1.43 billion market cap right now, sitting at 63 million, which is amazing, very healthy. Can you go over just kind of like a little bit about why you chose the circulating supply or the max supply, why it was like that? I see you guys are around 5,600 holders. If you can just give us a little brief explanation about
Yeah,
the tokenomics.
sure.
Yep.
Sure thing. Yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, you need to understand that Zignaly is almost a 3-year-old token. So the best part is that there are no larger unlocks left, and the all of the circulating supply is now circulating, right? So all the private sale investors, advisors, blah blah blah, all of that is gone. The only difference now between the total supply and the circulating supply is the founders token. So when we launched in 2021, the founders token were supposed to start getting unlocked in January of 2022 with a 30 months vesting. But as founders, we are very committed to it. So we extended our lock till January 2025. So we have so far extended it by 3 years. And even after that, it is going to be a 3-year vesting period. We most likely are going to extend it again later on in the future because we have very different plans. We don't aim to sell or anything, right? So that's the only part that is left that is not part of the circulating supply. Other than that, it's already all out there. So obviously, if you look at it, I think the fully diluted is like, I think around 86, 87 right now. And the market cap is around 60, $65 million. We are listed on some decent exchanges like Bybit, BitGet, Gate.io. And in terms of holders, so we have holders both on ERC20 as well as BNB chain. I think we have around 12,000 or 13,000 holders on BNB chain, as well as 5,500 on ERC20. It's been growing pretty rapidly in the last 3 months, both in terms of price and the holders, especially on ERC20. We recently started, working on injective chain as well. I think we can talk about the later on about the injective NFT that we are launching. But this is one of the reasons that we hopped on there because we have some plans for the Zig coin on injective chain.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to be speaking about those NFTs because it's a really awesome thing. I want our holders and our Halo stakers to really know about this for when they vote, because I mean it's a really exciting news for Signali. And just so I notice you're very modest, but you were recently listed on Bybit, and you guys actually had the highest ever votes with buy votes, correct? 59 million. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that is actually true. Like yeah, absolutely. This I we try to be modest and don't try to like flex it a lot. But I think yeah, we kind of broke the record, and this was the highest ever votes any project got on the Bybit listing, and I think this shows the strength and power of our community. It's not a small feat to achieve because the previous records were held by very large, very old, and high market cap projects. So I think um, uh, um, you know I'm sure there will be someone else down the road who will break that record, but at least for now, we can be very happy about it. And I think this is one of the reasons that, after that listing, we have been talking to a couple of really big exchanges, like the best in the world. And they've even seen the power of community, the growing volumes, the growing holders, and the conversations have become very positive out there as well.
Yeah, that's exciting, and I love the modesty, but sometimes you got to flex. I mean, until somebody beats that record, you guys are number one. Seriously. And so now let's get into some of the
Yeah,
more juicy questions that I've been waiting to ask. Now that we've warmed up a little bit, I think a lot of us have been wondering,
sure.
because it's so groundbreaking, the Z-score AI algorithm, and really, how you guys select the top holders, what specific factors go into play, and to kind of really ensure that
Yeah.
sustained performance going down the line.
Sure, sure. Thank you very much for asking this question. This is like a talk of the
Yep.
town,
Yeah. Definitely.
basically, because so Z-score, yeah, so Z-score is something that is being used, being created using an AI technology. And so you need to understand that, again, that Zignaly is 5 to 6 years old, and the kind of data that we have, the proprietary data that we have, over 25 million trades, by thousands of people. So there is a method to the madness out there, and uh, you know, so we use a mix of things. So Z-score is not only that data, but it then calculates, it takes into consideration a lot of macro factors. So it kind of creates a correlation between the performance of the trader, drives some similarity with the patterns of the past of those thousands of traders over 25 million trades, and then compare it with the third party hundreds of macroeconomic or microeconomic pointers and the data points, and then come up with a score. So it is not something like that, okay, you just put it in an Excel sheet and you have the score. No, it is a very complicated algorithm that is, well, not algorithm, it is more of an evolving metabolism, I would say, a microorganism, I would say, that's running in the background, and it's updating the score. So we launched the Z score a couple of months back, and right now, if you go to zscore .zigdao.com, you will see only three traders. But just to this is the first time I'm saying we are going to reveal this. So this is for your community specifically. That the Z score is now going to be available for every single trader on the platform. Okay, and it is already in the staging phase. So I think in a week or so we are going to launch it. So basically, this is so you so the journey becomes like this, that the way we onboard traders, okay, is extremely critical. Okay, it's a highly curated way of onboarding traders, and even among those traders, the user, when he comes online, or he or she comes online, and they see that what are they what they need to invest into, at that point in time they can decide based on the Z score. And very soon, when we start populating our marketing campaigns with like a specific traders, we will be pushing the ones with the best Z score. This puts pressure on these fund managers as well, because they know that they need to beat the best, otherwise they will drop out of those top ones that we promote. So it's like a cycle that we have created, and Z score is like a crown on top of that to make sure that everyone is in line.
That's wow. I mean, just hearing you speak about this is huge. And I'm actually looking at the website here, and I love how you guys, even this guy over here, 681% annualized. His Z score is 80. So, I mean, it's not something that's, you guys aren't going easy on these guys. I mean, I'm sure it's, even if some of these best
Yeah,
traders are not getting 100 scores, and it really makes them really have to work extra hard to get that score up. So it's not just a cakewalk. It's not
exactly.
a cakewalk.
So there is a reason behind it. Let me explain the reason behind it. So a lot of people think that the best return is equal to the best trader. It is absolutely not. Um, the things like Sharpe ratio or things like the drawdown, you need to understand that at this point in time, if someone is up 600%, I need his trading history. And I need to see that his trading history as compared to the market in last 6 months, how has it been? And then my risk algorithm, the Z score, will tell you the score. So Z score actually puts more relevance to the risk than the returns. Because again, the point is if a trader is making 80% or 100% or 120%, not a big deal, not a big difference. But if he gets liquidated, then what? That's the bigger risk, and we need to cover for that. We learned a lesson in 2021 in May when the market was extremely volatile. Our onboarding metrics and things were very different at that time. But when the market showed the volatility, almost half of the traders got liquidated at that point in time. And this is where we learned that no, if you want to have a sustainable long-term business model with minimal churn, both on the trader and the investor side, we need to put these mechanisms in place. And this is where all started, that our getting into a marketplace as a trader is terribly difficult. Even if I apply, I'll have to go through a rigorous process. So if someone you see in the marketplace, most likely than not, that person is good, and then you add the Z score on top of it. uh, well, again, nothing is 100% perfect, but that's near perfection.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's going to be perfect, but you guys are doing all the due diligence that you can to make it as safe as you can for the average investor. And again, no minimum to start,
Absolutely.
no fees until you start making money. So, I mean, you're really giving the average investor practically no barriers to get started. And you guys are really vetting these traders that are going to be followed. I noticed also it's, you have like low risk, average risk, risky. You have rising star. You got the slow and steady and the fast and furious. So you're really setting these traders apart and kind of giving people that choice and that clarity. Let's move to the next question because we have a lot left, and we're trying to. I like to keep these within an hour so that people re-listen to it. Right? We could talk for hours
Yep.
on this topic, and you know that. So the next question I really want to talk about is, you mentioned it earlier, and I think it's one of the most exciting parts right now within your ecosystem, Zignaly. The Zignaly NFT collection, this Ninja Shuttles. And so, can you guys just elaborate more about these and about the NFTs and what's coming for the Zig holders?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the roadmap is not out yet, but it's just a matter of days. However, I'll try to reveal some information here, which is not too revealing. Okay, so bear with me. So yeah, I mean, this NFT collection is not a one-off idea just to start with. So if it's successful, we will be replicating it on multiple chains. Okay, so that's number one thing. So audience should know about it, that this is going to be one of the growth mechanisms. Okay, so we are going to do it again. Number one. Number two, most importantly, the way we are going to do it is that we are trying to bring um, the AUMs to a fund manager through raising money on the NFT. So without going into too much detail, there will be a major portion of this NFT raise will actually go into the best traders identified by the Z score. Okay, and the NFT holders are potentially going to get the revenue share from that part, and the Zig holders on Injective chain are going to get the boosters. So Zig coin holders are going to be in for a big treat on Injective chain, particularly. Also, the Zig holders, both on Injective chain on the other chains as well, they will be getting preference in terms of the whitelisting for the NFTs. So again, as I said, we want to keep Zig at the center of it. We have a huge community of Zig holders, so we want to give them a benefit. And once this NFT comes out, you guys will be able to see that we are keeping up with the promise.
Wow, I mean, that's huge for Zig holders and something definitely they could look forward to. And just letting them know is that this should be the largest injection chain based NFT sale to date. Correct?
Yeah, so this is going to be the largest ever um, uh, you know NFT raise on Injective chain, and we are pretty confident that the kind of launch that we are doing. Um, Again, I would like to remain a bit on the modest side, but yeah, the kind of launch that we are going to do, uh, it will be the 10 times bigger than anything else that has been launched on Injective.
Wow, that's really awesome. And speaking of the Zig, I've done some more research and I noticed you guys have so the Zig buyback and burn initiative, and I saw that twice
Yeah.
a month you guys are burning, and in December alone you guys burned worth Zig coins worth 114,000, actually more than that. Can you guys give us a little bit more, like what's
Yep.
the goals associated with this burn buyback and burn?
Yeah, sure. So obviously, this is one of the ways to basically transfer the protocol growth into the token growth. Okay, by creating the demand and also the creating the supply scarcity. So we use a certain portion of our revenue twice a month to basically buy back these Zipcoin on exchange, and we burn it. And the transactions are publicized every month. Well, twice a month actually. All the buyback transactions and burn transactions are publicized. We will keep doing it till the supply is halved. And yeah, I mean, honestly speaking, we are just copying the Binance model here, which we believe is a very strong model. And I think it generates automatic demand as per the protocol growth.
That's awesome. I mean, you guys are really doing everything you can. I mean, it seems like a lot of exciting announcements. And one thing, obviously people know the less circulation supply, the more valuable your token becomes. So that's great for holders as well. One thing I was noticing, so, with $10 billion in trading volume and 500,000 members, I mean, just saying those numbers is so incredible. How does Zignaly, implement such a vast amount of trading activity and still maintain that trust among their members?
Of course. So basically, so just give me a second. Yeah. So basically, the $10 billion volume. So again, we do not optimize for the volume. We optimize for the user profits, right? And this is what makes us level-headed. Um, we are not a decentralized product yet. We plan to become one, but even in a centralized way, we are decentralized because this volume is handled by the traders. So there are hundreds of fund managers who are managing money for these hundreds of thousands of investors. So basically, they are self-governed on their own. And as I said, due to our trader onboarding mechanisms and all, they are all in the right mindset. They know that if they screw up a little bit, they will be kicked out and they will never be able to come back again. Okay, and this is how they maintain their decorum and their investor decorum, and the collective the maintenance becomes easier for us. Yes, when the volume happens, we get some rebates from Binance and now started from Bybit as well. But we never optimize for that. From a business model perspective, we are fully focused on our customers making money and us getting a small part of it.
That's awesome. I mean, that's really that long-term growth that I'm very impressed about. You guys are really thinking long-term. I mean, and it shows because you've been around almost 6 years. So I think you guys understand the value of the
Yeah.
long-term growth thinking and really caring about your customer first, because the money will come, right? You're not here to just quickly make some money. You're here to really establish yourself as the best. And as Forbes said, you are already. I think so. I'm sure there's probably traders listening right now, and they're like, "Wow, I really want to get started with Zignaly. They're the best in the game." What are some of the if you can explain the process of being evaluated and be listed as a pro trader on your platform for those that are listening and wanting to be a part of this?
Yeah, sure. I'll make it super quick, and later on, I can share a link with you, and you can share with your community. There is a blog out there in public. So, in a quick summary, the trader who comes in, anyone can come in and create a service. Okay, we don't stop that. You come in, you create a service, you invite your private community. We don't mind, but to come to the marketplace, you need to have you need to have a 3 month established trading history on our platform. And before starting that trading, you have to give us some data points. For example, how much drawdown will be on your account, how much kind of leverage do you do, what kind of stuff you do. You give a strategy, and for 3 months we notice that if you do not comply by that, we do not enter you in the marketplace. So it is a very stringent process, given that in crypto 3 months is a lot of time. There's a lot of volatility. So in this amount of time, we capture everything. Just in last 3 years, almost 10,000 applications, almost 10,000 traders have tried to enter into the marketplace, and I think 100 or 150 have come into it. So you can understand how stringent the process is. But the ones who are in the marketplace, uh, there are a few dormant as well that we are removing every day. But the ones that you see on the top, in like the top 2 3 pages, they are the really good ones because they have made it through a very stringent process.
And that's really great to hear, that you guys aren't just letting everybody in. I mean, that's a huge number, 10,000 applicants, and only a couple hundred or less are getting, accepted. But then you're taking it to the next level with the Z score. It's like, okay, not only are we very strict on who we bring, but now you can actually, home in on the very best of the best. And it gives that incentive for the trader to try to be the best, right? To get that Z score nice and high. You know, I
Yeah,
want to talk a
exactly.
little bit about the performance metrics. You know, what are some of the average returns investors have seen through Zignaly, and how does that platform ensure consistency in the
Hmm.
performance?
So consistency again, it depends. I mean, on the trader, the kind of trader that there is, and Z score takes some care of it, and it will keep doing that. Um, Average return again depends on the market condition, but we have seen that, for example, there market has been good for last couple of months, so everyone has done well. But then we have traders that who have even in last, let's say, 6 months have done 250%, and there is a trader who has done 600% in last 1 year. So these are great achievements, and they are handling like more than $1 million already. Um, it is very hard to quantify that what is the average return of a trader, because it changes. But I think safe to say that all of our good traders have made more than 60 to 70% or 50 to 60% in last 5 to 6 months. So even with the volume, so I think that's pretty nice.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I mean, I'm very excited to get started with this with this product myself. You know, I've already signed up, as you know, and all I got
Yeah.
to do is send in the USDT, and I'll get started. You know, this week for sure. And that's not just me saying that. You know, I didn't get paid to say that. That's how excited I think the whole community, seeing our general chat, are very excited about everything you've been saying so far. So you're going to get a lot of new users, I assume, soon. You know, speaking of new
Yeah.
users, right? I noticed the Discord community. Not only is the Telegram community strong, but the Discord community. I mean, 10,000 members, right? So, what are other support and educational resources does Zignaly offer its users, especially those that are kind of newer to trading? You know, other than just joining the Discord, which again, you 10,000 members strong, and I'm sure anybody in there would be willing to answer questions that aren't, financial advice. Obviously, you want to be careful with that. But what other resources does Zignaly offer for those newbies?
Ah, um, yeah, so we have a lot of educational content, which on our YouTube, on our Medium, and different kind of blogs, where we talk about the importance of diversifying the portfolio, picking up multiple traders, and if you're trading your own self, how the DCAs are important, how the risk stop, the stop losses are important. So we do that, and actually, you rightly mentioned Discord. So Telegram is more about token. You will find token community there. But on Discord, you will find more of a product community there. So people actually help each other. The fund managers are very active there. They have their own small discussions going on, and they are, like one-to-one discussions as well. So Discord is really the place. If you are a product user, you go there, you learn a trick or two. Um, as a platform, we cannot really promote a single or a multi, like a set of traders. We just let the public decide. And even from the educational perspective, we try to keep it more generalistic instead of being more focused and borderline financial advice. So just trying to keep a balance there.
Of course, and you have to be careful with like the legality of it. You don't want to give financial advice, but it's still nice that a
Yeah.
newbie can come in and feel comfortable, and because it is overwhelming for new investors. So having that, Discord again, you're very modest. 10,000 users on the Discord channel. So if you guys have any
Yeah.
questions, getting started with Zignaly, feel free to jump in that Discord, ask questions. And from my understanding and from the feedback I've heard before this interview, they're very quick to answer your questions. And so, speaking of the feedback, right? What are some user feedback you've received to try to improve the platform? Is there anything specific or significant that users have given you that you've ended up implementing on those user inputs? Just curious. Yeah.
Of course. So Zignaly is basically a community product. Everything that you see is basically based on the feedback. So myself and the other co-founders, we used to spend a couple of hours every day using reading the customer support chat, and even now as well. So this is where we get all the input. So when we were a simple copy trading product where people used to connect the APIs, whenever a trader with has used to have more than 100 followers, the results were not the same, because through the API the orders were going one by one. But then we started learning that this is a big problem and it cannot scale. This is where we started profit sharing, like the pooled accounting. And we actually, this is the customer feedback that got us change the way our product worked technologically. This is one of the things that we did. And then there are a lot of other things, like for example, the biggest traders that we have, they actually wanted us to hide the trades that they are taking. Before that, like 1 year or 1.5 years, that we used to show the open trades as well. And traders told us you don't do that, because then if someone is seeing us, they can copy the strategy. Because from the investor perspective, it doesn't matter really. They have invested in a guy and he will make them money. But from a trader perspective, he really doesn't want to want to show his strategy. So these are just a couple of examples of how serious we take our customers' feedback.
Yeah, and that's very humble. That's a humble approach, and it's very important. That's how you grow, to hear back from your users and the traders investing. And just from somebody, like, I have my own strategy. I trade weekly strangles, high IV stock options and index options. So I have my own strategy that was passed down from my father, who told me, like, never share this with anyone. It took him decades to learn, and so I can understand why somebody wouldn't want to just share decades of information with somebody, just for the freebie of it. So that's interesting. You guys are really taking your user feedback to heart. Some people don't, and that's why you guys are continuously growing, after 6 years. I want to end it with one more question for me, and then I want to ask some questions from the Halo stakers that will be actually voting on the proposal. How does Zignaly adapt, to the rapidly changing cryptocurrency market? Like, what strategies are in place to mitigate risk during the market downturns? I think that's a really good final question to ask. Just pretty broad, but I think that will give you a good starting point to answer that.
Yeah. So I can give you a made up answer, but I don't want to do that, and I want to give you a genuine answer. When there is a volatility, during that time you can't do anything. So whatever you do in advance to prepare for that is what you do, and this is what we do, as I said. So the curation process of the marketplace, like the trader onboarding, and to make sure that their drawdowns and everything is aligned and is documented, this is how we make sure when the volatility is there, we do not see any activity that is not pre-planned. So yes, when, for example, if market goes down, most of the traders goes down as well, but that's normal, right? But let's say that while onboarding, if some trader says that the maximum drawdown my account will see on a particular time period would be 30%, but we suddenly see him down 40%, we reserve the right to liquidate his service before he goes down to zero. And we have done in the past as well, to make sure that our customers are safe. But this is a very, very extreme step that we take, maybe in a 1% scenarios. I can proudly say that in last 2.5 years, we barely had a liquidation. I don't think we had a liquidation of any sustainable, any significant size. Maybe a trader with $5,000 got liquidated, maybe, but on a larger service level, we have an absolute zero track record. So you cannot react to volatility, you have to prepare for it. And I think we are very well prepared. We survived the bear market with the worst possible worst possible outcomes. And even in last few months, like, if you see, there have been a lot of wicks here and there on the upside downside. We have been doing pretty phenomenal. Our traders are doing really well, which shows that we have created a robust system.
Yeah, and I mean, being very strict on who you allow to enter, that's the biggest really risk mitigation that you guys are using, and really protecting your users and your the investors. So that's really great. I want you, Abdul, to is there anything I've missed or something you want to mention to the M87 holders and anyone else listening to this space, because it is recorded? Anything else you want to kind of just
Yeah.
close out on and give us some more information that maybe I missed?
Absolutely. From the product perspective, I just want to say this, that as compared to any other copy trading platform or social trading platform, where Zignaly has an edge is its beautiful technology. How we do the accounting of it, it's a very boring thing to talk about, but it's very interesting because um, the results are the same. If you have ever used copy trading platform, you know that if there is a trader who already has 100 or 200 followers, and if you become the next one, your and other results would not be the same because API takes it one by one. In case of Zignaly, the technology that we have created thanks to Binance and now Bybit as well, that it goes into a pooled accounting concept where the withdrawal function is only enabled for us and Binance, but the trading happens by the trader. So it doesn't matter if 100 people or 1 million people are following a trader, results will always be the same, and trader would actually know that he's handling an X amount of capital instead of him just saying, I'm handling my $500, let me trade shitcoins. Even if $1 million is following me, I don't care. Okay, we have really changed that thing. And if you use the product, you will understand it better, that how infinitely better Zignaly is from any other copy trading product in the industry. Even the copy trading product introduced by the exchanges like OKX, BitGet, Binance, we are very proud to say that we are infinitely better than any of these products.
Yes, and I agree. I mean, I myself have signed up, and I'm excited to use the product. I mean, you definitely have my vote for the proposal. So, I mean, it's really definitely excited. I want to. There's three questions from our Halo stakers. I want to ask those questions really quick before we end the space. But before I do that, I have a major announcement for M87 and Messier. I was going to do this at the beginning, but our conversation has been flowing so well. I didn't want to interrupt it, but I want to do this quick announcement for all the M87 holders. Before I do, I just want to thank everybody for joining and sticking through this space. As many of you know, this has been a really, really educational space. I want to thank Abdul for answering all our questions, very elegantly and in detail. So thank you so much. And so the big announcement, okay, Messier NFT object auction will start on January 12th at 6 a.m. UTC, okay, with the VirgoDAO launch. This is a huge, huge moment for our project and our token and our holders. The VirgoDAO is the next generation DAO on the Ethereum blockchain. We're all centralized and manual steps are fully automated. That's very exciting. For the auction, there's going to be a 110-hour timer that's going to start at 6 a.m. UTC on Friday. And so these are going to be the bids will be able to be performed on these special utility NFTs that can boost your staking income. As many of you know, there's only going to be 110 of them, so bid enough since there'll be a lot of competition. All M87 tokens used during the auction are going to be burned and taken out of supply. And as many of you know, this could be half of our entire supply, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be burned. At the same time, the NFTs will give the staking value. So it's going to give you from the first pool, all M87 token stakers are going to receive yield from this pool. But also by being an M87 Messier object holder, you're going to receive also from the pool 2. This is exclusively to receive yield for those NFT holders. And you'll see the initial buy value on the special NFT dashboard, which I've already seen. It is gorgeous. It is fluid. It is beautiful. The NFTs are beautiful. I already know which one I'm going to be trying to get. There's 110 of them. So, try to get that quick, try to get a bid in quickly. And the best part is, I'm going to finish it off with this, is selling of them are your choice, right? You can sell, and it does help the project when you sell as well, because you're not selling M87 tokens, you're selling it to buy to receive Ethereum, right? So you buy it with M87, we burn the M87, you sell it for Ethereum, you're making back some Ethereum, no pressure on M87 tokens, and plus cherry on top, 4% of the resale fee goes back to the DAO treasury, so we can invest in great projects like Zignaly and help Abdul, further this amazing project. And then guess what? Our investors, M87 wins. So if Zignaly wins, we win. It's perfect. And so now let me just end it with a couple more questions really quick from our audience and from our stakers. Just give me one moment here. All right.
Congratulations on that launch.
Yes, big. I mean, it's so exciting, and remember, those fees, that 4% is going to go back into the treasury, that it's going to be invested into these great projects like Zignaly. Really quick.
That's great. By the way, I'm a holder of M87 myself.
Oh wow, nice. And believe me, I'll be a holder of Zigs soon. I want to get in as soon as possible. after this AMA, I am sold. I hope that's okay to say. I won't sell any M87 from it. I'm going to take fresh money and buy. Okay, so I have some questions here just to end the space. One moment. I want to make sure everybody gets to ask the question. One moment here. Okay, so the first question here, I think somebody was asking, is this a centralized trading exchange or a DEX? I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. I think you went through that.
Yeah, it's neither.
Exactly,
actually.
it's neither.
So,
exactly. I think
it's a centralized. Yeah, it's a centralized product, and we use Binance as we are the number one Binance broker partner, and we are using the centralized liquidity from Binance and now Bybit as well. So we are a centralized product, but we are not an exchange either. We are just using the APIs to have developed this layer on top of it. But we aim to become a decentralized product as well, but more on it in the next 4 to 5 weeks, actually.
Okay, great to know. The second question: plans for an iOS application? Any plans?
Yes, absolutely. It's already under works. We are so Apple has different rules, as you can understand. So yeah, we are working on it. It will come out, I think, during this quarter for sure.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge.
It's ready. Like the app is ready. There is no. That is just a matter of the uploading and registration on
Mhm.
iOS. In fact, if you can use it on test flight mode. So the link is on the website as well, and we can again later on share in the community as well. You can have it in the test flight mode, but like the full iOS app store thing, I think it will. I think it will take a few weeks, but yeah, it will be there.
Awesome. That's really good. Yeah, and just that application process with iOS is a little bit more challenging than with like Android, Google Store, or something like that. And then I guess the last question: what's the anticipated growth for the next 12 years? Which I know is, I mean, no one can time the market, but what's your feedback? That's a question from one of our holders.
For Zignaly, you mean?
Yes, correct. What's like the anticipated growth for the next 12 months? It's kind of a broad question, but it's just from the users or from the yeah.
Sure, sure. So I cannot talk about the token price if that is what the question is, because we don't do that. We never do that. Our price has come up by almost 1,000% in last 3 months, but we don't we don't say about it because there is a reason behind it. Um, we firmly believe that if protocol and if the product does well, the price will move because there's a direct utility, a demand generation from the product itself towards the token. So our aim is very simple, that we want to grow the asset under management by at least 10 times during the year. And if the results of the fund managers are the same, then obviously the demand for the buyback and burn for the token will also go 10 to 20 times higher. Okay, and whatever impact it will have on the token, we will let the community think about it themselves. So cannot really put a target on the token, but from the protocol, from the revenue, from the AUM perspective, we really want to grow more than 10 times this year.
Yes, and I respect not wanting to talk about price, and I think it's very commendable because I mean it's not all about price. You're thinking of long-term growth, um, and so yeah. All righty, I think that's all the questions from the main audience, and let's see if there's anything else that's being said. I mean, is there anything else you would like to mention before we can end up the AMA?
No, I think it was great being here. I can see a very interesting audience here, and even as a product and as your DAO and our product, I would love us to collaborate more in the future. I think you guys have a lot of cool stuff coming up. I think we have some cool stuff as well. So I think both the communities can really collaborate to promote each other.
Yes, definitely, 100%. And I would love to have you on a future space again. As you grow, maybe in like 3-6 months. We would love to have you again. I think we definitely. I've had a lot of feedback. Me and you are great interviewing. Make a good team. And you are very good, explaining the project. So I'm very appreciative. So I want to say thank you, Abdul, Ehsan, Rafe, and the rest of the Messier team, and the Messier team as well for helping get this space going. And very excited to start getting my hands dirty with Zignaly. And if I have any questions, I'll definitely DM your team on Discord. That being said, thank you everybody for joining for the second official VirgoDAO Investment Talk Show. And we will have another one coming up very soon. We will keep you updated. And thank you, everybody, so much. Have a great rest of your day.